माधवम् यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैः स्तवैः वैदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तं न विदुः सुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः देवाय तस्मै नमः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः
ॐ नारायणः परो व्यक्तात् अण्डमव्ययसम्भवम् अण्डस्यान्तस्त्विमे लोकाः सप्तद्वीपा मेदिनी ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः we saw verse number 47 along with the Bhashya in chapter 2 of the Bhagavad Gita, the famous verse that says that points out the human conundrum. And what is that? Thinking that one is in charge of the results of action, when that is not the case at all. And so we saw that how being being under the delusion that one is in charge of result of action, what happens is that there is a one's growth is arrested. One's growth is totally arrested. What kind of growth? Emotional growth, spiritual growth. That is what is badly arrested. And so, therefore, the next verse, 48, talks about how an alternative way to perform actions, and this is the whole discussion on Karma Yoga, which we have talked about at length. But here we can see the pramana. We can see how Bhagavan, Bhagavan Vyasa is putting Lord Krishna's words into this beautiful verse number 48. Yogasthah kuru karmani sangam tyaktva dhananjaya siddhya siddhyo samo bhutva samatvam yoga uchyate. Karmani kuru. You have no choice other than to do the action, because if you say, I am not going to do any action, what is that? That is also an action. And so, and elsewhere it is going to be said in chapter 3, nahi nahi tishtati kshanamapi jatu jatu tishtati nahi kshanamapi jatu tishtati akarmakrit, means you cannot stay even for a second without doing karma. That seems to be a certain kind of a given swabhava, which can be overridden by knowledge. But until that knowledge comes, that the person must be engaged in karma. So there is some kind of a confusion created for Arjuna as a result of this, because he says, if you are telling me karma binds and knowledge frees, and yet you are asking me to fight this war, what is wrong with you? I mean, make up your mind. Tell me one thing that I can follow, and that's what I want to do. It's not so simple. It's not like, okay, do this, don't do that. So the karma the karma is a way in which the actions can be used for eking out things in samsara, a better life, a better job, better house, better spouse. Why not? Yeah. And then you keep on doing this, doing this, doing this for something better, better, better. And it doesn't take long for the better to turn bitter. That's what happens, because it is not in your hands. And karma reigns, karma is paramount. So you go away somewhere because you cannot stand noise, and you go build your house far away somewhere in the woods, and then right next to you somebody comes and builds the house, and after you build yours, so day and night there is construction going on, and so you cannot leave that. You cannot leave that. You leave the you leave the the spouse, and then you go with somebody else, spouse or significant other, somebody, and you go with somebody else, and that person has the same issues in a different name and a different form, same issues. And this is karma. And so therefore that is what builds up resentment, the frustration that I am not at all able to control anything in my life. The sense of fear due to being out of control, all these things are there. And so therefore, without acknowledging Ishvara, as I have mentioned, there is no karma yoga. So the first definition of karma yoga is given here in this in verse number 48. Very important. The next few verses will be very important, because Adi Shankara asked the question: Yadi karma phala prayuktena na karma kartavyam. If the action is not to be performed, pining or being prodded by the results, being governed by the results, if the action is not to be performed, tarhi katham kartavyam, then how else should it be performed? This is what is being explained. This is the question that Adi Shankara raises, that becomes a wonderful segue for the verse at hand. Yogastha karmani kuru. Take to a life of karma yoga. And what is this karma yoga is explained in the verse itself. Sangam tyaktva. Sangam tyaktva means giving up the obsession. Sangha is obsession, addiction. Addiction to what? Obsession to what? Karma phala sangam tyaktva. So, addiction to results. So this doesn't mean that you have to perform result action without expecting results. Nobody can do that. Not even one who is developmentally challenged. Adi Shankara says in the Bhashya for this for these coming verses. So so what? Then so I can expect the result naturally. Without expecting the results, why will you even get out of bed? Nobody will do anything. The point is to not expect results. The point is to understand that the results that you expect, you may not get. Why will you not get? Just because. That's how it is. You will not get. Why will you not get the results? You will not get the results because there is something else in the way. Namely, karma is in the way, and so you may not get what you want. And if you are ready for that, then you can expect the results, no problem, but adjust your attitude in the event that the results of the karma do not come. Adjust the attitude. It's an attitudinal adjustment. That attitudinal adjustment goes by the name Samatvam. Samatvam, equanimity. Because what else are you going to do? Equanimity, thy name is Karma Yoga. That's what you have to say. And then we have Pujya Swamiji's formula, which was very nice, which I have mentioned before. And what is the formula? The formula is how to not get disappointed. How to not get disappointed means you have to see the fact that there are only four outcomes possible for any kind of action. And we have already seen this. So, just to quickly, what should I say, review them. Just to quickly review them, what do we say? Four kinds of actions, on the four kinds of results, outcome. The outcome is in keeping with what you want. Yay, wonderful. The outcome is better than you expect. A double yay, double wonderful, fantastic. When can we have a party? That is what we have to ask. Then, then the story of everyone's life, the outcome is less than what I expected. Why me? Why is this happening to me? Third possibility. And the fourth possibility is what? Hmm? What's the
Dot,
fourth
dot, dot.
possibility? Huh? Yeah, the
It
fourth
will.
possibility is the outcome is totally opposite of what I expect. In other words, if the example is, the example of the action is I want to cross the road. Why? To catch the bus. So the first scenario, I crossed the road, caught the bus, no problem here. It's wonderful. And then the second scenario is I crossed the road all right, but a friend picked me up in a nice car and took me out to lunch and then dropped me where I needed to go. Fantastic. And then I crossed the road and missed the bus. Story of everyone's life, missing the bus, missing the opportunity, missing the promotion, missing everything. Missed the bus. And even literally in India, it is very, very easy to miss the bus because you're crossing the road and then you have to make eye contact, not with the driver, but with the person who manages the bus, called the conductor. That fellow, and nowadays a few women are also there in the job, but mostly men. So that fellow will be in the back of the bus, and he has his hand on a little rope that makes the bell sound, and a double bell sound is a indication for the driver to move the bus, to start moving. A single bell sound means please stop. So you look at him, he looks at you, the hand is deliciously on this little rope, and you say, no, 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 I'm coming, don't go. And he looks at you and he goes twice, ding, ding, meaning let the bus go. and, and then why? Because he's there to exhaust your karma. That's the only reason he exists. No other reason. That's why it happens. Why? Because he looks at you as an opportunity to express his power. Why not? Yes, so that's where his power is. His power is in pulling that rope, in pulling the bell that is connected to the rope. So why not? And so then the last possibility is I was crossing the road, dot, dot, dot. What happened? I don't know. What happened was that even though you were a good citizen, look to the left, look to the right, you could not take in the hidden variable. And what is the hidden variable? A scooter suddenly swerved and came. And a scooter is or a motorbike, and it's not for any reason that it is called Yamaha. It is Yamaha, and that is why it is called Yamaha. Clean Sanskrit. Okay, so it comes out of nowhere. I thought I saw both the sides. Where did this come from? And this is what it is, opposite of what I expected. When, one lands up in the hospital with traction, Yamaha slowly missed you. That's all, pun intended. This is what, just barely missed you. So if the desirable outcomes are managed, then the undesirable outcomes are easier to manage. The desirable outcomes must not disturb my equanimity, samatvam. This is the idea. If the desirable outcome, in the face of the desirable outcomes, I'm able to keep my sanity, I'm able to say, okay, I'm in a very lucky situation, things are going my way because Bhagavan is giving these results of action. And that's why Karma Yoga means bringing in Ishvara, bringing in Bhagavan. And without Bhagavan, there is nothing. You are not really wielding the power to create your own reality here because it's already there. You come to this in a certain way, and that is how it is. And so that's what means, that's what it takes to become prayerful, to become present, more mindful, etc. And so that is what is Karma Yoga. Karma Yoga, the first definition of Karma Yoga is equanimity, not with regard to action, but with regard to receiving the results of action. Equanimity. So, you know, so how to receive the results of action? That is going to be described in the next verse. But through the understanding, this also we have talked about, so I can go a little faster. Prasada buddhi, seeing everything as prasada. Prasada means a gift from God, meaning you don't question. If somebody gives you a present for your birthday and then you open it, and then even though you don't like it, what do you say? Thank you so much, it is wonderful, it is beautiful, how thoughtful of you. And then in your mind, you are thinking of all the people you can palm it off to, even as you're saying thank you, but that's okay. That's still okay. You may be thinking of, this might fit that person, or that person likes this very ugly color. Let me give it to them. You might be thinking that. Or I already have 3 of these, and and I can give the fourth one to somebody else. And so you're already thinking, oh, I can save money for somebody else's birthday. Like this, you're thinking. But what are you saying? Thank you. Thank you very much. You don't say, how long have we been friends? Don't you know I already have 3 such t-shirts? Why are you giving me this? And don't you know that this color doesn't look good on me? Why are you giving me this? And you must be just palming off something somebody gave. This doesn't look like a thoughtful gift. Take it away. You don't say that. Even if you want to say that, you don't say that. And in America, there is this whole what is that pratha, this custom of returning Christmas gifts, where back to the shop. They don't even there. They don't return it back to the person. A very good case in point. And when you're standing in line, I have seen people stand in line. First time, I thought, what are these people doing here? Day after Christmas, there's a big line. And then they're all standing in line, and everybody is looking a little embarrassed because they don't want to run into the person who gave them the gift. Unless, of course, that person is returning your gift, then it's okay. And otherwise, you're in this situation, you kind of quickly do a sweep, and then you just are a little hyper vigilant because you don't want people to see you. Why? Because that prasada buddhi is natural. Even though you don't know the meaning of prasada, you've never set foot in India. This is human nature. That attitude of gratitude comes naturally. It is human nature to be grateful. And so when you get a gift, that's why there is an expression. What is that? Do not look at the gift horse. Do not look the gift horse in the mouth. Now, why will anybody open the mouth of the horse? Well, there is a good reason how this expression came. Gift horse means the horse that has been gifted. But then Before you go to buy a horse, you you take the upper lip and put it up to reveal the teeth of the horse. And the teeth of the horse, how yellow the teeth are, shows the age of the horse. And if it's an old horse, you don't buy. That is the idea. But if it's a gifted horse, you don't try to find out its age, especially when in front of the person who is gifting it. This is how it is. Do not look at the gift horse in the mouth. Do not look the gift horse in the mouth. So that kind of a graciousness with which we maintain our relationships with significant others, friends, etc., in our lives. And that same graciousness is accorded to the karma phaladata Ishvara. Same graciousness. You don't sort of keep saying, why did you give me this? I asked for that. Why did you give me this? How could you do this? We don't do that. Because when we do that, then that there is Ishvara is not bothered. Ishvara is not upset. You have a transference on Ishvara, but Ishvara does not have counter transference. Ishvara is just perfectly fine, very calm. But then the fallout of that comes to the person who is raving and ranting at the gift called life and at the gift called all the things that are in the life given. In fact, prasada buddhi is learning to see the results of action not as a gift from Ishvara. This is only one level. First level is you see it as a gift from Ishvara. Second level and more important level, you see it as a manifestation of Ishvara, a manifestation of God. So the result of action is a manifestation of God, and so there is no other. You have to accept it. What other choice do you have? And if you see it as a manifestation of God, then there is a lot of benefit here. That means that you are no longer having a sense of alienation and disconnection from Bhagavan. That's the first result. You are close to Bhagavan. Oh, but all I'm getting are difficulties. Those difficulties are manifestations of Bhagavan. More difficulties means there is more Bhagavan in your life. This is what it is. This is what it takes to get to the place of self growth, spiritual growth, emotional growth, all kinds of growth. This is what it takes. Nothing else. And so, therefore, the understanding that this is a manifestation of Bhagavan. And in this understanding, I cultivate, it doesn't come naturally, I cultivate an attitude of equanimity, samatvam. How to cultivate that attitude? Just, by licking the wounds. That's all one has to do. Consoling oneself, licking the wounds, and telling yourself, okay, this time I was not very lucky. I was, I did not win this. And same thing happens in the elections also. Same thing happens. There can only be one winner. The other one loses the election. And then it is very difficult for the one who has lost the election. But then, they move on. They say, okay, this time it did not go my way. There were forces stacked against me. They have to move on. Even if they say, I'm not going to, I'm not going to concede this race. If somebody says, you know, it's a position of powerlessness. It's a position of powerlessness because whether I say that I haven't won this, whether it's the lottery or whether it's an election or whether it's a job interview, I did not get the job. If you say, I'm not going to accept that I did not get the job, who is going to be affected? Is the job going to be affected? No. Is the new entrant for the job going to be affected? No. Is the boss going to be affected? No. Who is going to be affected? You. That's how it happens. So, samatvam means the ability to get back up and the ability to console oneself in the light of the knowledge that everything is Ishvara and that my karma is my own karma, that karma, my own karma is the cause of this particular result, of this particular action. And I take account of that fact. I take responsibility for my action. Okay, it fell short. Why? Because of some previous action I have done. That's why it fell short. And so, in any case, that karma is also my previous action. And so, therefore, this equanimity is a very big blessing to cultivate. And here, Arjuna is being asked to do that. Sangam tyaktva. Give up. So the equanimity in turn helps one to stop obsessing about the results of action or being addicted to the results of action. This is an old and habitual orientation of the jiva. And here we make that you go into some kind of karma yoga is like rehab. So you stay away from the addiction to the results of action by cultivating the understanding that this is a manifestation of Ishvara, by taking recourse to devotion, by becoming a bhakta, and by setting yourself on a path of self growth and emotional growth, spiritual growth, rather than being obsessed with the results of action. So this is like a karma yoga is like a 12-step program, you can say, or a de-addiction program, where the habitual orientation to to the results of action, to being addicted to the results of action, are snapped by the cultivation of prasada buddhi. Bhashya. Yogasthah san kuru karmani kevalam ishvarartham. Here plainly Bhashyakara says, kevalam, only for the sake of Bhagavan. Ishvarartham karma kuru. Tatra api Ishvarah me tushyati iti sangantyatva he Dhananjaya. So yogasthas in cultivating this yoga, please do perform all the action. Why? Only for the sake of Ishvara. Here we have to understand sake of Ishvara means Ishvara is not some guy in the sky and he's my boss and I'm doing the actions like that. No. Sake of Ishvara here means dedicate the action to Bhagavan. Or even better, dedicate the action to Bhagavan means how? Just say, it's because of you alone I am in a position to perform these actions. Because of you. How else will I perform these actions? Actions means I need hands and legs, and you have given me the hands and legs. Actions means I need speech, you have given me the speech. This acknowledgement, and in other words, you are doing the action, not me. This is Ishvara Artham Karma Kuru. This is the injunction here. It's not that for the sake of some Ishvara sitting somewhere who knows where and I don't know and I'm going to perform these actions. No. It is a mindfulness that even the ability to perform the actions are given by Bhagavan, Bhagavati, and so therefore they are the the ability to all the abilities, my abilities, they are because of Bhagavan, nay, they are Bhagavan. So all the abilities are Bhagavan. So who is performing the action? Bhagavan is performing the action. I am just a nimitta. I am an instrument. And so this is how you pray. Before any kind of an action is initiated, you say, let me do this in tandem with you. Let my will not run contrary to your will for me. Mama chittam tava chittam anuchittam bhavatu. Very nice. My emotions, my mind, my intentions, let them be what? Let them be in keeping with your will for my life. You are running the show and I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm fudging along, I'm doing the best I can. I acknowledge you as the doer of action. I bring you in as a proxy actor. Actually, not proxy, you are the actor, but this is from the Jiva standpoint. I bring you in as an actor. You are the actor. And then, therefore, please, Ishvaro me tushyati means may Ishvara be happy with me. That kind of a desire is not there. This is that kind of a desire is also not there, because if I do this correctly, then Ishvara will be happy with me, and if Ishvara is happy with me, what will happen? I will get some goodies. That means what? Again, the addiction to the results of action is there. So I want to please Ishvara. This is also a hidden desire for approval, validation, and for the results of action. Because approval and validation are again results of action. As a result of this, Ishvara should shower me. Goddess Lakshmi should shower me with gold coins. See, I have chanted Shri Suktam correctly. This is again a hidden way to be addicted to karma phala, which Bhagavan Adi Shankara has outed. Even that feeling, oh, Ishvara must be happy, I'm trying to please Ishvara. No. There's no Ishvara other than you ultimately, and so this is just a understanding that this, whatever I'm doing, may it be in keeping with your intentions for me, and I take responsibility for all the ways in which I have swerved from your intentions for me. How do I know your intentions for me? Through trial and error, mostly error. Oops, that was not in my forte. Okay, let me try something else. Oh, that I did not do properly. Let me try something else. Whole life is for this kind of a growth. And so through that I understand, okay, these kinds of things don't work very well in my life when at the age of 92, but still it's it's important. Even at 92 sometimes people don't get it, so this is important. It's not like some kind of a contest that I have to know immediately. No, you know, whenever you want, whenever you're ready, it will come. It's okay. And so, like this, this is the even that feeling, Ishvaro me tushyatu, Ishvaro me tushyati, iti. This is this is how the growth takes place. And then, so the Sangha means the obsession or the addiction to results must be let go of. Then he makes a very important point. Phalatrishna shunyena kriyamane karmani सत्वशुद्धिजा ज्ञानप्राप्तिलक्षणा सिद्धिः तद् विपर्ययजा असिद्धिः तयो सिद्ध्यसिद्ध्योः सिद्ध्यसिद्धयोः अपि समः तुल्यो भूत्वा कर्माणि कुरु. So then he defines success and failure. Siddhi means success, and asiddhi is the opposite of that. Asiddhi means failure. So the Bhagavad Gita has a very different definition of success and failure. Please understand. In our empirical world, in the regular day-to-day world, what is the definition of success and what is the definition of a successful person? A successful person is the one who has been able, by some dint of hard work, luck, etc., been able to fulfill most of their raga dveshas. That is what is called a successful person. You look around, who is the successful person? The person with a lot of money, Aishwarya, overlordship, power. And the person with a lot of power, the person with a lot of money, the person who can command others, The person who is in a position of leadership, those are considered a person. And even if you're not in a position of leadership overtly, you are considered successful if you are able to have a sway over so many
Devita,
people.
Patenga.
In other words, you can be what is called a YouTube influencer. Then that is also considered a very successful person. There is one, I forgot the name of it. There's one 10-year-old somewhere. And that 10-year-old has like 3 million followers on YouTube. He's making a lot of money at age 10. Putting what does this 10-year-old boy do? He just, when after he finishes school, he just does some TikTok videos on this, that, and all these things. And I don't know on what subject. I haven't really paid attention, but they are very successful. In 1 hour, it will gather it will gather like thousands and thousands of views, these TikTok videos. Yeah, so this is what it is. So if you have 3 million followers at age 10, that means that you are successful. Everybody says, "Oh, beta, how wonderful, how nice." And this is not a success according to the Bhagavad Gita. This is not success. Gathering a numerous followers is not success. Trending on Twitter is not success according to the Bhagavad Gita. And then becoming famous on Facebook is not the definition of success according to the Bhagavad Gita. Publishing a lot of books and then becoming famous is not the definition of success in the Bhagavad Gita. Making a lot of money, the Bhagavad Gita, and the Gita Shastra could care less about what you have or what you don't have. That is not success at all. So the worldly definition of success, i.e., the more success, the more ragadveshas I am able to fulfill, the more successful I am, is not coming here in this verse. So siddhya siddhyo samo bhutva means this is a way of performing karma from the spirit of karma yoga. Siddhya siddhyo samo bhutva, and that is not connected to the last line, last pada, samatvam yoga uchyate. That is a separate sentence on its own. Please be mindful of that. So, siddhya siddhyo samo bhutva is connected to yogastha kuru karmani. And actually, if we do the anvaya, if we make the verse into prose, it should read like this. सिद्ध्य सिद्ध्यो सिद्ध्य सिद्ध्यो समो भूत्वा योगस्थः कुरु कर्माणि संगं त्यक्त्वा धनंजय. That is how that the first line should include the first pada of the last line. The third pada should be included in the first line itself. So it's not siddhya siddhyo samo bhutva samatvam yoga uchyate. It makes no sense. Samatvam yoga uchyate is a complete standalone sentence by itself. Equanimity is yoga, is termed as yoga. It's a separate sentence. Siddhya siddhyo samo bhutva. Bhutva means having. Having equalized what? Your concepts of success and failure. Having calibrated your concept of success and failure. Calibrated with what? with the Shastra's understanding of success and failure. There are two opposite understanding of success and failure. So what is the Gita Shastra's understanding of success and failure? It is the same as Bhagavan's understanding of success and failure, because Bhagavan Krishna is giving this definition. So what is Bhagavan Krishna's understanding of success and failure? Success is the extent to which you can manage your raga and dvesha, especially when confronted by difficult and challenging results of action. Failure is the opposite of that, the inability to do so. The inability to concede defeat, to be able to make peace with any kind of a defeat, means like things don't go, when things do not go your way. the ability to be cheerful, the ability to be optimistic, the flexibility to be able to change courses and say, okay, this didn't work out, but something else will work out, not to worry. And not always future fixated, because because success is always connected to future, and the fear of failure also is connected to the future. And so therefore, being free of that, that is karma yoga. And that is the Bhagavan's definition and Gita Shastra's definition of success. Gita Shastra's definition of success is my ability, is one's own ability to manage the raga and dvesha, strong preferences and prejudices. That is success. The extent to which I am free of the raga dveshas, what is that, running my life. Usually the raga dveshas run your life. This is how it is. Starting the first thing in the morning, I want coffee. Okay, raga for coffee runs the life. And then what? If the coffee is there, no problem. But there is nothing wrong in wanting coffee, also nothing wrong, as long as it doesn't become a desire that binds you. Let's say you're traveling somewhere or you go to somebody's house, coffee, you say, in the morning, and they say, oh, I'm so sorry, we don't drink coffee and we don't have coffee. And then what happens? The mood is offy because there is no coffee. This is what happens. And so that the ability to be cheerful in the face of things not going your way, that is where one has that freedom. Because for the mood to be off, it doesn't take long. Doesn't take long. It's a habitual, just go there, prakrita buddhi. It's the remnants of the leftover animalistic buddhi, bestial buddhi from previous lives. And if the cat does not have its way, it will hiss, it will swat, the dog will growl, it will bark. That buddhi is still there, that reactivity. The ability to manage that reactivity, that is success. Why is that success? That sounds boring. That is not boring. That's success because now I am freed of a dependency. This is fantastic. I'm freed of a dependency. That means in relation to one particular thing, I'm free. This is very nice. The raga doesn't run me. The dvesha doesn't run me. I am in the driver's seat and I manage. No coffee, no problem. Just won't get out of bed, that's all. See, there are many ways to manage that. And so this is just a way of triumphing, being triumphant over all those addictive, addictive things in life that makes one inflexible. This is one very nice way. This is what it is. So this is how does that translate? So very nice definition of success and failure are given. So phalatrishna shunyena. Phalatrishna means trishna, longing, thirst. The longing for phalatrishna, longing for phala. Longing for phala means the longing for the results of action devoid of shunyena. फलतृष्णायाः शून्येन फलस्य तृष्णायाः शून्येन. So the freed of the longing for the results of action is called siddhi. When you are freed of the longing for action, this is results of action, it is called siddhi. Siddhi is of the lakshana, of the characteristic of what? The gain. The gain, prapti. The gain of knowledge, jnana prapti lakshana siddhi. Straight away he says, Siddhi has the characteristics, the lakshana of what? The attainment of knowledge. Resulting from what? Sattva shuddhi ja. Sattva shuddhina jayate iti sattva shuddhi ja. Shuddhi ja means born. Jayate iti ja, jaha. So ja, that which is born of sattva shuddhi. What is sattva shuddhi? A purification of the mind. Of what? Of the cobwebs of raga and dvesha. Otherwise, how can you have Bhagavad Darshanam? Bhagavan is sitting right there, full of cobwebs and the thicket of raga dveshas. So you have to go there and do some housekeeping, cleaning, sweeping, mopping, and then when all the dust is gone, then you say, "Oh, you are right here." That oneness with Bhagavan has that capacity, this Sattva Shuddhi has that capacity of making you ready for knowledge and with equipped with sattva shuddhi, equipped with this purity of mind. Purity means freedom from raga dveshas, emotional maturity, spiritual growth. Equipped with that, jnana prapti does take place very very quickly. You go to the teacher and you listen to what the teacher there says, and immediately you listen to the shastra, and then what happens? You are blessed with knowledge. Why? Because the mind is ready for it. So the mind is sattva. So this sattva shuddhija lakshana, sattva shuddhija lakshana jnana prapti, that is siddhi. That is siddhi. So then, this is a very different definition of Siddhi. Different definition of Siddhi. Poor Adi Shankara perhaps did not know the effect of Kali Yuga on everyone. So he is describing Siddhi as the readiness for knowledge, and Asiddhi, the failure. When is someone a loser? When one is not ready for knowledge, one is a loser. I mean, look at the complete different definition of Adi Shankara. Adi Shankara's definition is in keeping with the Bhagavad Gita and in keeping with the Shruti, the Upanishads. And our definition, the modern day definition of success and failure, so far, so far away, absolutely far away, totally far away. And so then this is what is the problem. So this jnana prapti lakshana siddhi. And then what is asiddhi? Tad viparyayaja. Viparyaya means the complete opposite of that. Meaning, you know, it is not jnana prapti lakshana. It is stewing in atma ajnanam. It is a stagnant waters of Atma Ajnanam, and one is trying to swim in the stagnant waters, algae infested. Algae means some kind of all these, scum and everything that happens in stationary water. Mold, scum, all these things. Dirt, everything is there. Sludge. So if you go for a swim in algae infested waters, that is what is tad viparyaya ja. Viparyayena jayate, meaning that which is born of the opposite circumstances. You're treading water and then disturb and making it more murky. And that murkiness and the algae, etc., are in the form of long-standing desires and obsessions with the results of action that one is not able to make peace with. There are always chronic results of action that one badly wants. And so that constitutes the stagnant water in which one is keeping on swimming against all desire. In fact, one doesn't want to do that. And that is who the Bhagavad Gita calls as a big loser. That is the loser. And so here, Siddhi, Asiddhi, I mean, this verse is, made more because people nowadays are not interested in gaining knowledge. They're not interested. Manushyanam sahasreshu kashchid yatati siddhaye. That siddhi is there. So the same siddhi. The Bhagavad Gita is very, very constant about its definition of siddhi. And in the seventh chapter, this same siddhi, jnana prapti lakshana siddhi, how many people are interested in? Very, very few. One among the thousands. One person. One person is interested. That too with great difficulty. One person is interested, one person wants to correct their understanding, one person wants to change out of maybe, thousands or hundreds who might have studied an Upanishad or had some exposure to Vedanta Shastra. One person says, "Oh, I really need to take this and run." For the other 999, what is there? Oh, business as usual. Once in a while, this is nice to listen to. No commitment. And so, therefore, the siddhi here is not easy to get, this kind of a siddhi. And so, therefore, this the word siddhi and asiddhi, the definitions of siddhi and asiddhi have been badly diluted in the rendition of the translation of this particular verse to encompass success and failure in general. Otherwise, nobody can relate to this verse. Jnana prapti lakshana siddhi, if you tell people that, okay, this siddhi is that which is characterized by getting ready for Atma Jnanam, they will say, go. Who cares? Who cares about Atma Jnanam? What is it? Don't talk to me unless it is a flavor of ice cream. Then we'll talk. If there's a new flavor of ice cream called Atma Jnanam, okay, we'll talk. Because nowadays, people name things. There is one, somebody said, what is that? Recently, I was, when I was during the last travel, they asked, what do you do? And then I said, it was some kind of some kind of an inauguration. And after that, there was some food there, and we were just sitting and talking. And so one person came up to me and said, what do you do? And I said, Vedanta. And so they informed me, I didn't know this, that Vedanta is a very big company and that does all kinds of things. And so that is how it is. And then so there is so when you type Vedanta, all these things will come up. Dental center, also called Vedanta, because they think that Danta means teeth. Veda Danta, they think. And because they don't know Sanskritam, they don't know it is Vedanam Anta Vedanta. So then it could mean so many things. So, like that, here the concept of success and failure we have diluted in this verse because nobody is interested in Vedanta. Nobody is interested in Atma Jnana. In fact, if you want to make people run away, you start teaching Vedanta. Simple. Then everybody will just run. They'll say, "Oh, I suddenly remembered I have something to do. I have something to do." You start sharing what you have studied in the class, and then people will say, "Oops, I just remembered what I want to do another time. Bye bye." This can be a nice, what should I say, repellent of difficult situation. If you're stuck in a difficult situation, just say, what we studied in the Bhagavad Gita yesterday, and then the person will leave. And you will be happy. No problem. So therefore, the translation of this verse is made more general for the sake of palatability and relatability. Be the same in success and failure. If failure is meaning I can't fulfill this raga dvesha, okay. If success meaning I have fulfilled this raga dvesha, that is also okay. So be the same. Be the same in success and failure. That is equanimity. Siddha siddhyo samo bhutva the yogastha karmani kuru. So do your work, but at the same time, make sure that you have equanimity. And that equanimity, that concept of samatvam is taken a little further by Adi Shankara, because why to cultivate samatvam? That is why he answers that question. He answers that question beautifully by saying jnana prapti lakshana siddhi. So how to cultivate this sattva buddhi? How to do this? So Jnana Prapti Lakshana Siddhi. Jnana Prapti Lakshana Siddhi means what? That the why to, not how to cultivate, why to cultivate this samatvam. Why should I have equanimity? Because it's a blessing. It has both an immediate effect, like all things in life, it has a drishtaphala and adrishtaphala. Your attitude that you have cultivated with regard to doing the work with from an attitude of samatvam, equanimity, has visible and invisible results. What is the visible result? We already talked about that. The visible result is that I have less and less, fewer and fewer dependencies. What is the result of having fewer and fewer dependencies? You can be more and more cheerful because you depend on less and less. This is wonderful. The person who wants more and more and more is more sad, more inflexible, more miserable, because you become a victim of the world. You wait for the world to do this, that, or the other. You wait for the people in the world to change, or you manipulate the world and the people in it in order to be a certain way. That is not Siddhi at all, because it's a sad way. It's a sad way to lead life, because one becomes a victim of other people's actions, other people's omissions and commissions all the time. One becomes a beggar in the world of life, in one's own life. And so, therefore, when that dependency is reduced, the visible result is that you are much more cheerful, much more flexible. When you need less, you are much more cheerful. This is the visible result. And then there is a long term result, is that the habit of dropping dependencies makes you ready for self knowledge, because it is giving emotional growth, because you're not always obsessed with trying to manufacture karma phala. Because of that, there is more space in the heart, which naturally leads to questions such as, why do I exist? What is my purpose? How do I gain Ishvara? All these lofty questions come only and only when there is space. And that space is cultivated by letting go of the addiction to the results of action and performing actions from a spirit of karma yoga. So therefore, siddha siddhyoho api samaha tulyo bhutva, making the having equanimity, cultivating equanimity, perform all action. And then he asks a rhetorical question, which becomes the segue for the next verse. Kaha asau yogah yatra sthaha kuru iti yuktam idam एव तत् सिद्ध्य सिद्ध्योः samatvam yoga uchyate. So what is this yoga? He asked the question. Rooted in which, staying in which, performing which yoga, cultivating which, I am asked to do the works in life. I am asked to perform all my action. Idam eva tat siddha siddhyoho. So, with disregard, with total disregard to success and failures, what is that yoga? Then the definition of yoga is given. Samatvam yoga uchyate. That sameness in attitude with regard to what? Siddhi or asiddhi. That is called yoga. And of course, the as I said, because of the situation right now, the words siddhi and asiddhi, the translation has broadened into anything I want, anything I don't want. And it's okay to do that, because how else to relate to this verse? And so siddha siddhyoho, so the sameness of attitude towards the siddhi and asiddhi. And of course, we have to bring in Ishvara, we have to bring in Ishvara as the result of action is coming from Ishvara. First level, it is coming from Ishvara, it is prasada. Second level, Ishvara itself is the result of action, manifest as the result of action. And so I learned to accept it reverentially. Then one more segue. Yat punah samatva buddhi yuktam ishvararadhanartham karma etasmat karmanah. Etasmat karmanah. So then then the opposite is going to be talked in verse number 49. What happens when the action is not performed with samatva buddhi yuktam, equipped with samatva buddhi, when the action is not performed for the sake of Ishvara, as a sake of worshipping Ishvara with my action, when I'm not doing that, what does that karma look like and what are its perils? This is what is described in the next verse, which is verse number 49, for which we don't have time right now. And then, mm, what is the date for the next week? What is the date?
21st Swami.
21st. Okay, so I will be traveling. This will not meet then. And then, so probably we will need to be taking 2 weeks off. But please check the website about when the class will start again. Okay, yeah. So that is that is the so next few days, next week and the week after that I will be traveling for teaching. I will post some of those things there also. The some of the talks may be available on Zoom, and so I will post the information there. All right. Yeah. ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्तिः 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 हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ. There is a question. If Bhagavan is the doer, then then does this mean that my free will has no role to play? Yeah, your free will has the role to play. Your free will is there in order in deciding what to do. And once you decide what to do, then Bhagavan is the doer. So there is no fatalism there. All right. Yeah. Okay. All the best. Om Tat Sat.
Thank you,
Take
Swamiji.
care. Thank you.
Om.
Thank you. Take care. Om Om.